Okay, so I'm an average amateur cyclist. I basically only cycle as a method to commute to work, and thus on weekends for leisure for my own personal fitness and enjoyment. As you can see in this Strava segment, which is the climb up Mount Stromlo, located here in Canberra, ACT. I'm 2271st out of 4,444, so I'm about middle of the pack, so fairly average. So this is the Scott Addict, which I'm test riding today. So five. So I've just ridden the Scott Addict 30 up Mount Stromlo, and now I've just ridden my ordinary flat bar road bike up Mount Stromlo. The Addict feels a lot better. It's a lot lighter, and when you push, it responds. So I'm going to go home and check the time differences. But to be fair, I'm not that fit, so I've done this ride back to back. And when I was riding my bike up the mountain, I basically hit the wall, so then I was just struggling. So I'm expecting there to be quite a bit of a time difference, but we'll see. So I test rode the Scott Addict 30, and then also my own flat bar Avanti blade free aluminium bike. As you can see, the time that I did the Scott 30 in was 12 minutes and 25 seconds, and then immediately afterwards I rode up in my own bike. My time was 15 minutes 46 seconds, so it was considerably slower. To be fair, I'm not that fit, and the second time I was cycling up, I actually just started cramping up and slowed down significantly. However, previously I've ridden up the same mountain on my own bike, and I felt quite good that day as well. I did it in a time of 13 minutes and 45 seconds. So given that I've only done basic one ride on the Scott carbon bike, and only had to literally 2 runs on my own bike, this isn't enough data for it to be conclusive, and there's also going to be various factors like wind and conditions on the day. But from this limited data, for an average rider like myself, the carbon bike, or the mid-range quality carbon road bike, makes a difference of roughly about 80 seconds over 3.5 Ks. So roughly it's almost making a difference of about a bit over 20 seconds per kilometer for me. Which is a reasonable amount of time. So I guess the majority of that difference, I will say, comes down to the weight. The Scott Addict 30 weighs about 8 kilograms, whereas my normal average commuter bike weighs about 12 kilograms, so that's a 4 kilogram difference, which is, I guess, a fair bit of extra weight to carry up a mountain if you have to carry 4 kilograms. I should also point out that I'm not exactly comparing carbon bike directly with same spec aluminium bike. The Scott Addict 30 has Shimano 105 components, whereas my aluminium bike has Shimano Sora components, so quite a drop down in level of componentry. So my aluminium bike is probably the lowest range aluminium bike you can get, whereas the Scott Addict 30 is quite a sort of mid-level, top, almost close to top of the range carbon bike. So for me, if that time is important to you, then definitely get yourself a nice carbon road bike. It is worth it. It's a lot more comfortable to ride as well. It definitely soaked up the vibrations on the road a lot better than my aluminium bike. However, I guess in terms of general fitness, do you really need a carbon bike? No, my average aluminium bike is enough. But if you like that feeling of a carbon bike, then yes, definitely go ahead.